D2 biological solution is not the only product you can use to clean biological growth from gravestones. That's actually the farthest thing from the truth. The study that people use to justify D2 being the only cleaner that's acceptable actually doesn't say that at all. And I'm not sure that a lot of people have really read the entire study. I've read it 5 or 6 times, all 375 pages of it. And since this question has come up recently, I figured it was a good time to talk about it. So the recommendations of the study found that biocidal cleaners, which contain quaternary ammonium compounds like D2 biological solution, EnviroClean BioWash, which is Prosecco's Revive now, and they listed Modec MDF 500, which is like an industrial disinfectant, or other similar cleaners. So right there, right from the start, it's pretty clear that they're not saying you can only use D2 biological solution, that any product out there that has a similar formula, you're okay to use. They're recommending this class of cleaners as the best one to use on gravestones. Now they go further on to say that you should take the time to contact the manufacturer of whatever product you choose to try, and make sure that they don't have anything in there that's not listed, or some sort of hidden ingredient that could leave behind any sort of salt residue or crystal formations. So really the answer is right there, like within the first few pages. But there's also a few other things I think need to be discussed about this study that a lot of people may not be aware of. I think most of us, I hope all of us actually, can agree that when we're conducting research, legitimate research, that it should be as unbiased as possible. If there is any potential conflict of interest, we need to eliminate it because it can skew the results. They're just not as reliable. Some people might not be aware that one of the inventors of D2 biological solution, Norman Weiss, was on an auxiliary board at the time for the NCPTT, the Preservation Technology Training, whatever. He's on the board of that. At the time, D2 biological solution was selected for this research study. So he had a vested interest in it being chosen and in its success in the study, if you kind of get where I'm coming from. Additionally, when they were conducting accelerated weather testing in a lab during phase 2 of the research, D2 biological solution was found to have left behind like a powdery salt formation on the stone samples. And they sent those samples to Columbia University for further evaluation. And guess who heads up that department at Columbia University? Well, Norman Weiss. And when they identified this powdery salt formation, the NCPTT called up, another representative of the company, D2 Biological Solution, current owner, Ted Kinnari, or however you say his name, told him, hey, this is leaving behind salts. And he said, oh, I think it's a buffering agent. Let me reformulate it. So they reformulated the product in the middle of the research and then submitted the new formula in the middle of the research, and the research continued on. So something interesting to mention about the study too is that another product that they tested, the World Environmental Group's granite marble cleaner, at no point during the study was it found to have left behind any salt residues or formations. And it's just a different class of cleaners. It's like solvent, alcohol, and a chelating agent. And I think they claimed like it was just too broad. It was too broad a class and they couldn't test everything. but they believed it had the potential to be something good to use. They were noticing that you would probably have to clean more frequently, but just the fact that it automatically didn't have the salts in it, why was D2 allowed to reformulate theirs? Because D2 automatically lost with the salts, right? But I digress. Another important thing to mention is that when the study was completed in 2011, almost immediately, the NCPTT launched into workshops and trainings where they were teaching people, and all of the stuff that I can find online is indicating Norman Weiss was involved with these workshops and teaching people. And this is where the narrative that D2 biological solution is the only product that's acceptable, that's basically how it started. What I'm saying here is that this debate, this D2 is the only thing you can use, it's got to stop. It's not a debate. Any quaternary ammonium-based product is acceptable per that study. So if you want to go use wet and forget, it's literally half the cost of D2 biological solution. You're not going to hurt anything. It's not going to cause any harm. If you want to try Prosecco's Revive, then go right ahead. I'm not sure that it's cheaper than D2, but it's part of the quaternary ammonium class of cleaners. So per the study, it's just fine to use too. Honestly, all I'm trying to get at here is this weird narrative that has existed for so long that D2 biological solution is the only thing you can use. It's just flat out false. It is absolutely and unequivocally false by the very study that is used to justify the claim. And I think a lot of people out there are already using wet and forget or other things, and they're just not speaking up about it because of this attitude amongst so many out there. And I just want to kind of go on the record to say that if someone is making the claim that D2 biological solution is the only thing you can use, then either they have not read the study and paid attention to the information within it for themselves. They're just simply repeating what they're hearing or reading in other places. Or they have a vested interest in you buying the product, which is usually financial gain or a benefit in some capacity, financial benefit. And I'm not doing that. I just want to be honest. I just want to tell the truth, and I just want to deliver facts. And the reality is, any quaternary ammonium-based product per that study is acceptable to use. It was per that study, at least out of the cleaners they used. There's growth in technology and advancements all the time. Maybe a different class of cleaners will be developed someday. Maybe there is a different method that will work better someday. But ultimately, this narrative, it's time for it to end. Feel free to try anything out there that you want to use, and refer to the study, the NCPTT study. It's readily available on the D2 Bio website, even though the NCPTT has taken it down and you have to email them if you'd like a copy. But all the information that I have shared with you is contained right in that report. And, it is what it is, y'all. I just want people to lighten up and get out there and get involved, and happy cleaning.